Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Colossians, chapter 4, verses 5 through 6. Verse 5. Walk in the wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. 6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that they may know how ye ought to answer every man. And I'm going to repeat those. 5. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. 6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Here Paul addresses both our walk and our talk. We are to walk in wisdom and in a way that uses time wisely instead of wasting it. In doing this, unbelievers may be provoked to ask us why we live the way we do. Then we must answer with grace, wisdom. We're not to be attitude with our words, attitude with our actions, snobby. We're to speak with people, not speak to people or at them. And a lot of people don't understand that when they're being approached by people, they like to use a lot of bit of attitude in their responses, as if they should have known. If they see you doing such things and then they ask you, well, obviously you see me doing that, so obviously I'm a Christian. Obviously you're not a Christian. Not with that attitude. Because your mouth isn't matching up. Your math isn't mathing. Your words, your actions, your character. And that's what a lot of people seem to understand. That people can call them and say, I can tell right now that you're not a true Christian. Well, why would you say such things? And first of all, your attitude. Your actions don't match up to how most Christians would ask. Just because you claim to go to church, just because you claim to do this, and just because you claim to read your Bible, but are you applying it? Do you not understand it? Is it not in the same language that you speak? Because something's not matching up. Are you seeking God with your whole heart? There's different reasons why people do different things. And some people are not doing things with their hearts. And they wonder why they can't seem to have the same type of relationship with God that other people have. They wonder why this and this is not happening in their life. Well, I'm doing that. It wasn't. Well, what is the reason why you're doing things? Are you going after them wholeheartedly? You love them with your heart, mind, and soul? And believe it or not, as dumb as this sounds, there's a lot of people that is only trying to believe in God because they think they're going to gain this abundance. Oh, God blesses his people. Yeah. I believe in God. I'm going to memorize these verses and stuff like that. And it's sad, but it's true. Abusing the system. Some freeload off of churches, they're just going to fake the funk so that church will help them out. And it's sad because there's a lot of people out there that are in need and of help, and they won't even bother to ask. Because then you got ones that just coming up and going to these churches and just taking everything that they can and getting all this help, and that could have gone out to somebody who's truly seeking God or is truly needing that help. But now you got this person over here just not doing nothing and going back to the house and giving it all back. Some of them have kids and they do that for, but when you're sitting there scanning people, when you have the ability to get up and go work, but you're too lazy because you'd rather just take free stuff from people. And that's when you get a lot of argument with some people, that claim, well, why are these people living off of wealth when they get up? Yeah, you know, that is to help people to get back on their feet and stuff. But the government did, see, the joke got on them. They abused the system, but they didn't realize the whole time the system was abusing them. Made them dependent on them. Made them get comfortable with that. That they no longer want to help themselves and do themselves. And now they're totally dependent on that system. And they can't get out from under it. You got to, if you have the ability to get up and to go find and do this, then go do it. There's people that don't have the ability to do so. Either because they don't have the transportation, there's nothing in their walking distance, or, you know, this or and that. This world has got so much going on with it that there are so many people who are without homes, man. And we are just so quick to judge. And now, with all these natural disasters and all these jobs and all these things, and people just not caring about the family members and just kicking them out with nowhere to go, you see old people on the streets. And you thought that they've been there all this time, and they're not. They've just been kicked out by the family because the family members don't want to take care of them, don't want to do this for them, and don't want to do that for them because they just don't want to deal with the old people. I mean, it's sad. It is truly sad. Family members of these victims who lost their house because due to these fires and stuff like that won't take in their own family. We'll let them sleep on the streets. Why? We just don't have the room. You know, me and my kids and my family, nah. Man, you're supposed to take care of your family, whether you like them or not. You don't have to like them. You're supposed to love them. Because you're supposed to love your neighbor. But see, too many people just don't care about nobody. And this is of themselves. And that's what's wrong with the world. People only care about themselves. They forgot one of the 10 commandments, and yet they call themselves good people. Oh, I know I'm a good person. I don't break any of the commandments. They forget that one of the commandments is to love thy neighbor. And a sin is a sin in God's eyes, so you might as well just commit murder by not loving your neighbor. You should therefore be named a murderer, because in God's eyes, a sin is a sin. There's not one greater and not one lesser. So you want to sit there and dog somebody for murdering somebody, but you're sitting there hating everybody. You're a mass hater. A mass murderer? Well, you're a mass hater because you hate multiples of people. You're just bringing them down. Boom, 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 boom. That's multiple sins right there. What if you counted each? There's like they count each one of each body. Each one is counted a different murder. What if each person that you hated counted as another body? I don't know if that's true, but just think about it. Because each one of them is your neighbor. God says to love them all. God says to help them all. But everybody wants to walk around all so great and so high and mighty, like they're obeying all these 10 commandments and stuff, and ain't sinning, and they're a great person and great that. But they don't even really think about their actions. They haven't really paid. Some people obviously don't even know the 10 commandments. They just know thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. Everybody forgets about loving that neighbor. Masticator. God is all about love. Jesus is all about love. And there's not a lot of people walking around with a lot of love. They ain't spreading love. They ain't giving love. They're being hoarders of it. They're keeping it to themselves. They're loving thyself, which is in a whole nother sin. Because you're holding yourself to be all this high and mighty, like you're a god or something, and you shouldn't have no other idols. And you're placing yourself as a god because you think that you're above all these people, that you are better than all these people. Now you're idolizing yourself. See, that hating your neighbor is leading from one sin into another sin into another sin. In the way they treat people. But people don't think about that. And they wonder what's wrong with the world. Obey the commandments. It's that easy.